ABC 12's Jeff Piechowski was at Bishop International Airport when Lakeisha arrived. He's live with more on the big homecoming. She's definitely at celebrity status now, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, Shannon. I tell you what, it reminded me a bit of those old videos you see of the screaming fans for the Beatles 40 years or so ago. It was quite a homecoming for the girl many around the country felt, and definitely those at home thought could have won the whole thing.
She may not be officially the American Idol, but she's an idol, all right, as hundreds were on hand for the singer's first trip home.
I love it. I'm so glad to be home, and like I said, I've been singing forever, and American Idol was that platform to show the world what I've always been doing, so I'm just blessed.
And after being officially welcomed, Lakeisha even took some time to answer questions from adoring fans.
Why did they take you off American Idol? You so good.
They made a mistake, baby.
Some of those fans left breathless and speechless after getting to see Flint's idol.
She autographed it and some pictures of her. I got a picture with her, and I think she set a good example for Flint because that she went so far.
But this time around, Lakeisha's only home for a brief 24 hours. And now that she's back home with people wondering, has all this national attention changed her at all?
I'm still Keisha. I'm ready to eat some tacos right now and take my heels off because I'm tired of being cute, even though I'm cute every day.
Her next trip home will be in June, where there'll be a big celebration and a parade on the 9th.
Just excited to come back and embrace the city and meet people and actually get to sit and chat with some of my fans, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, and tomorrow night she will head to Houston. She's actually going to look for a house there, and then it's back for rehearsals for the big American Idol tour that will come to the Palace of Auburn Hills this summer. One other thing they did officially for the next 24 hours, name this Lakeisha Jones International Airport. So reporting live from Lakeisha Jones International Airport, Jeff Piechowski, ABC 12 News.
The three oldest of the young victims were all students in the Saginaw Public Schools. The oldest, Adam Dupuis, was an 8th grader at the Saginaw Arts and Science Academy. His two younger sisters, Majesty and Destiny, attended Kempton Elementary. ABC 12's Jeff Piechowski live now with how those schools were coping today. And Jeff, I can't even imagine what all the teachers and administrators are going through at school today.
Yeah, Angie, both principals at those schools today told me this is an educator's worst nightmare. So they had grief counselors on hand dealing with students all the way from ages 5 to high school aged.
Big sister to the kindergartner, very love of life, love learning.
She's talking about 2nd grader Majesty Price, just this week named Kempton Student of the Month. Her sister, 5-year-old Destiny, was a kindergartner at the school. Their older brother, Adam Dupuis, was an 8th grader at SASA and a member of the voice keyboard program, a talented writer and musician. Today, he was supposed to perform with his classmates. That performance turned into a tribute to Adam when a poem he recently wrote for a language arts class turned into a song in his memory.
Yeah, it was a very moving performance today by those students on what was an unbelievably difficult day. Live in Saginaw, Jeff Piechowski, ABC 12 News.
The Loons hosted an open house for fans to get a look inside the ballpark for the very first time. ABC 12's Jeff Piechowski was there when the gates opened. He joins us live from Dow Diamond with more now. And Jeff, some pretty dedicated fans to brave the cold and not even see the team in person.
Yeah, they really did, Angie. Hundreds of them. And if tonight was any indication with the crowd in this freezing cold weather, then this place will be one of the hottest spots in mid-Michigan starting next Friday.
After nearly a year of anticipation, local baseball fans got to finally see their new home away from home.
I like it. It's a little bit cold, but, you know.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But the stadium is ahead of the curve as minor league parks go. and these heaters placed around the concourse helped. But some were so excited they couldn't tell if it was January or July.
I love it. Yeah. Very nice stadium.
What do you think of this?
I love it. It is wonderful. I'm so happy. When I walked in, everybody was just smiling and so excited to be here. It was great.
Hey, minor league ball's best! Woohoo! And the excitement went beyond the fans.
A lot of long days, a lot of effort went into this, and looking around, seeing people enjoy it and get their first look at it is pretty satisfying.
For season ticket holder Nick Bankert, his first chance to see his new favorite chair, and an opportunity any baseball fan would relish.
Can't beat this. The one thing that impresses me, there's no covering over here, so I still got a chance for a foul ball.
Yeah, and there is something about this game, and only the game of baseball, that can make you feel like a kid again, and there will be a lot of that happening right here at Dow Diamond beginning next Friday. Live in Midland, Jeff Piechowski, ABC 12 News.
Students from Arthur Hill and Saginaw High student government get to see City Council there in action. But Council was quite tame today, that is, compared to 2 weeks ago. ABC 12's Jeff Piechowski live at City Hall now to explain. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Angie. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago today when things got heated inside the council chambers. That's when Councilman Bill Federspiel went against the mayor's wishes and spoke out against current Mayor Pro Tem Wilmer Jones-Ham remaining on council while facing 2 felony charges.
With the student leaders from both city high schools on hand today, Councilman Bill Federspiel had a message.
Let it be our task for today and every day that we lay the deeds next to the words. And we can ask ourselves, are we satisfied with the match?
That message comes on the heels of his speaking out against Wilmer Jones-Ham being allowed to remain on council while she awaits the completion of her preliminary exam on felony arson and insurance fraud charges.
If I condone that now, there are people who have been indicted on felonies who aren't given a bond. Would we want to have the council meetings down at a local jail? Those people who don't get bonds are still innocent until proven guilty. I just don't want to set a standard here or condone something that's going on like that.
At the meeting 2 weeks ago, Federspiel stormed out to cool down. He later returned to the support of fellow councilmen Andrew Wendt and Larry Caloris. But Federspiel wants people to know his views don't mean he doesn't agree with the law of the land.
She's innocent until proven guilty. What I don't want the public to think is that I condone a particular council member's right, in this case, to remain on council while under indictment.
And Wilmer Jones-Ham will be back in court next week. Live in Saginaw, Jeff Piechowski, ABC 12 News.
Mother's Day has come early this year for one Thumb area native. 41-year-old Kelly Jo Dowd, who grew up in Caro, has terminal cancer. But this week, she saw her daughter's lifelong dream of playing in an LPGA tournament come true. And even more amazing is that her daughter, Dakota, is only 13. ABC 12's Jeff Piechowski sat down with Dakota's grandparents today. He's live in our Tri-Cities newsroom with more. Jeff?
Yeah, Taryn, and for Jim and Marilyn Dennis of Caro, it's a bittersweet weekend. They get to watch their young granddaughter on golf's biggest stage as their daughter walks the course with her for the first time at this level, and sadly, most likely for the last.
It was a high-pressure moment yesterday, but 13-year-old Dakota Dowd handled it like a seasoned pro. That's because she's mature well beyond her 13 years. She's had no choice. Her mother had already beaten breast cancer once a few years ago. But just last year, Kelly Jo found out it was back in her bones and liver. The doctors gave her only a couple months to live.
She's 50% nerves and 50% excitement.
Yeah.
She said, I'm here to fulfilling my mom's wish.
When this week's tournament sponsor heard of Dakota's dream and Kelly Jo's plight, they gave the phenom an exemption so Kelly Jo could see Dakota tee it up with the pros.
Thank God that Bobby Ginn gave him the chance to do that, you know. When he read the story, he said, you know, I can make this mom's wish come true. And he's done that.
Now Kelly Jo's parents watch this weekend miles away from the tournament at their home in Caro, knowing that regardless of Dakota's score, she's already won. Now they hold out hope for a miracle and one more big victory against all odds for their daughter.
The doctors can do miracles, but they don't have the final say. Like I say, they don't have the final say. God does.
And Dakota is currently 5 over par for the tournament through 8 holes today in the second round. Yesterday, she shot a 2 over 74. The #1 women's golfer in the world, Annika Sorenstam, shot 72. As for Kelly Jo, this time around, doctors gave her 2 months to live. Nearly a year has passed, and they say if anyone can survive a terminal diagnosis, it wouldn't surprise them if it's Kelly Jo. We're live in the Tri-Cities newsroom. Jeff Piechowski, ABC 12 News.
We're learning more tonight about the Tuscola County teen who secretly flew to the Middle East to meet a man that she met online. The family's attorney held a press conference this afternoon. ABC 12's Jeff Piechowski was there, and he joins us now live from Cairo. Jeff?
Bill, yeah, there are still a lot of unanswered questions regarding this ordeal, but what we did learn today was that last Monday, Catherine Lester left her home in Guilford Township, caught a cab somewhere in Tuscola County, and then by Thursday ended up halfway around the world. Catherine Lester returned home to Michigan Friday night, where she met with family at Bishop International Airport. Then the decision was made she would not return home with her mother for now.
She is in hiding and will remain in hiding until this blows over.
Some other major questions being asked are how the trip was funded and how she was able to check into hotels in both Bay City and New York City before boarding a plane to the Middle East.
In post 911 security issues, how does this happen that a 16-year-old travels on her own to another country? Those are all questions we don't have. In myspace.com, tons of questions there.
Earlier today, a source close to the investigation told ABC 12 the 16-year-old honor student at Akron Fairgrove was uncooperative with authorities when they met up with her in Jordan.
Well, early on, she didn't want to return, and I think at one time they weren't going to make her come back till they found out she was a juvenile and was there against her mother's wishes. That's when they pulled her passport and held her.
Mom does not want to control her daughter and will not force her to come home if she does not want media attention, and her mother is all in favor of that.
And the attorney also said there were a lot of questions they could not answer because this is an ongoing investigation with the FBI. Another source close to the investigation tells ABC 12 News that the FBI will interview Catherine Lester this Wednesday. For now, we are live in Cairo. Jeff Piechowski, ABC 12 News. Began just a few minutes ago. Once that's done, the fireworks show begins about 6:20, and this thing will go until about 12:30 in the morning. And their graduation ceremony will take place this Friday at 2 o'clock at Delta College. We're live in the newsroom. Jeff Piechowski, ABC 12 News. And they estimated that over 200 cars came through during the 4-hour period this evening. The village opens back up for business on Wednesday. The Christmas display will run through New Year's Eve. In the studio, Jeff Piechowski, ABC 12 News. And one other interesting stat about this freshman class, 594 of them, that's over a third of the new students, carried a 3.5 grade point average or higher during their high school years. And we wish the Vikings the best. Their first home game is 2 weeks from tonight when they host Dryden. We're live in the Tri-Cities newsroom. Jeff Piechowski, ABC 12 News. Well, BC, it was really some great work by all police agencies involved, along with the employees of this Security Federal Credit Union branch here in Flint Township. Now, police notified employees of this branch with a description of the suspect. They say robbed 2 other Security Federal branches today. Now, when the suspect arrived here at this branch on Linden Road, just north of Lennon, they were able to arrest the man along with 3 other people who were in the car used to get away from the first 2. Now, just about an hour before that arrest was made here, police say the suspect made away with an undisclosed amount of money from the Security Federal branch in Mount Morris Township. That's just north of here on North Linden Road near Pearson. That was around 1:30 this afternoon. Now, take you back to earlier this morning around 9:30 when they say the same man told a teller at the branch on West Boulevard Drive in Flint that he had a gun and wanted $5,000. He got away with an undisclosed amount there as well. Now, good news in all of this that there were no injuries to report. Just the only problem here was a bit of a traffic snag here on Linden Road as people heading toward Genesee Valley about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago doing that post-Christmas Day shopping, so traffic was backed up at then, but the scene is cleared and everything is back to normal for now. We will have more on this breaking story coming up on ABC 12 News at 5 and at 6. But for now, we're live in Flint Township. Jeff Piechowski, ABC 12 News. Well, Taryn, for those on the council, along with residents who regularly attend council meetings, Ham's announcement didn't come as a surprise. It's something she's been discussing for a while, and over the phone today, she told me she knew earlier this year that 2007 would be her last.
Of our city.
Wilbur Jones Ham had already worked as a city councilwoman for nearly a decade when in November of 2001 she was elected by the council to be the city's first female mayor.
She certainly has a passion for young people and those causes that involve young people, and so her service will be missed.
But it was a year ago in November when council underwent a major facelift. In the new look council, elected Councilwoman Carol Cottrell is the new mayor. Many thought Ham would walk away at that point, but instead she accepted the position of mayor pro tem.
She has served this community well, and she has done it with great love and affection for the city and its citizens.
But there has been a cloud hanging over the former mayor since last spring, when her Mercedes was destroyed by a fire in her driveway. The case was being handled by Saginaw County Prosecutor Mike Thomas. Ham was and still is considered a person of interest in the case. Once Ham was named in the investigation, Thomas turned the case over to Midland County Prosecutor Michael Carpenter to avoid a possible conflict of interest. And Michael Carpenter says there will be no ruling in the case until after the first of the year. As for Ham, she says it's time for some younger blood in the city council. She's also planning to get married this coming May. Live in the Tri-Cities newsroom, Jeff Piechowski, ABC 12 News.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Terry. This is not only a big day for the roughly 900 freshmen choosing to live on campus, but those 900 are also contributing to record numbers for the university. It was a day that brought numerous emotions.
So you excited?
Yeah.
Yeah? Nervous?
Yeah, kind of, to meet my roommate.
Nervousness and excitement were the common theme for the incoming freshmen, but one group that has nothing to be nervous about are the staff at SVSU. Of the nearly 1,500 new freshmen, which, by the way, is a school record, 157 of them were either valedictorian or salutatorian.
These are students who have lots of choices, and the fact that they've chosen to come here speaks very well for SVSU.
Okay, last names and ID cards.
To help along in the process are many upperclassmen like Hank Metzger.
As one of our volunteer activities that we do, we just help all the freshmen move in, help them get acquainted with everybody and make things a lot simpler.
And although many of the newbie Cardinals may get a bit overwhelmed the first few days, one of their fellow Frosh offers some advice.
Getting the most out of the college experience, as difficult as that may sound, but just meeting new people and trying to stay focused as much as I can, but enjoying it at the same time.
Hi, Shannon. During the 5-week holiday celebration, visitors can normally pay to walk through the village to check out the display. But on Christmas Eve, the village shuts down. Santa has gone to work, and for one night, the village allows motorists to take a drive through the lighted village. It's one of Michigan's largest Christmas light displays.
There's approximately 600,000 lights through the village and along the tracks.
And for only $5, families were able to spend their night before Christmas seeing the lights at Mid-Michigan's historic village.
A tradition, we've been coming out here about 5 years with the kids on Christmas Eve. We come out here every year.
With carols ringing throughout the village, it wasn't difficult to get into the spirit of the season. But there was one thing missing.
We miss snow, definitely. Yeah. But it's as Christmassy as you can get.
I thought it was cool. I just hoped that it was snowing, though.
But the lack of snow has not equaled lower attendance this year.
With the lack of snow, it might not seem Christmassy, but actually last Saturday was our busiest day, one of our busiest days in the last 7 years.
It's just really beautiful night. You can see the sunset, and it just puts you in a Christmas mood.
Well, Larry, MSP Sergeant Benny Bauer started this program last summer, inviting the youth from Benton Harbor. This year, they added 2 more weeks, Saginaw being one of them. The goal is to give the young men a different perspective when it comes to how they view the police in their community. It is not an ordinary way to spend one of the final weeks of summer vacation.
We get them up at 5:45 in the morning, and by 6 o'clock we're running.
But they don't make trainees do anything they don't do.
5, 6, 7.
The goal of organizers is to take inner-city youth, teach them about responsibility, respect, and trust, try to change the way they view police and hope they go back to their neighborhoods to become leaders.
I have some problems with my mom, being a little sarcastic. It's been a great experience here for me, though. I feel like I needed to come.
I realized the need to build relationships with our kids and to show, hey, we're human too. We're not, because we're police officers doesn't mean that we haven't made mistakes. It doesn't mean that we think we're the deity and better than anyone, but yet we have learned from our mistakes and we have progressed, and most of that's due to discipline and structure.
And although parts of their daily routine can be a mixture of classroom work and physical training, many of these young men have made huge transformations.
If you're a teen growing up in Saginaw, if you're a male, you should come here because this can really change your life.
Harry says this week has given him more drive to prove people wrong and pursue his dream of a career in music.
NYLA is how you find success. NYLA is always hard. Come talking that trash, you gotta see the sauce. Ain't nothing in life but to be legit. At the Academy of Michigan Youth Leadership.
Well, any sports fan has heard of the dreaded Sports Illustrated jinx. The magazine has been notorious for picking preseason favorites to win various championships. Only it normally seems to be the kiss of death. Enter Justin Verlander, the Tigers rookie sensation. 15 wins, beat his nemesis, the White Sox, last time out. Well, Justin was the most recent cover boy for Sports Illustrated. You see where I'm going with this, Joel. Verlander would get some early offensive help. First inning, and it's Craig Monroe. Simo takes Jake Westbrook deep, a solo shot. Monroe's 22nd of the year. Tigers up 1. They'd add another to go up 2-0 after 2. Tribe tie it up, and the Tigers have a big fifth. Maglio Ordonez with what turns out to be a long 2-run single, scoring Monroe and Dimitri Young. 5-2 Tigers should be enough for Verlander, right? But remember that SI jinx. Things fall apart for Verlander. An even bigger fit for Cleveland. Here it's Joe Inglet with a 2-run triple, part of a 6-run fifth. That would wrap the scoring for the game. Tigers lose again. It's their 4th straight loss, final score 8-5. Two teams chasing the Tigers meeting up in Chicago, and it's the Twins. Johan Santana making a good case for the AL Cy Young. Here strikes out Pablo Ozuna. Twins bats going good as of late. It's Torrey Hunter with a solo shot. It's his 2nd homer in as many nights. Twins take a big 6-2 lead, but the Sox storm back for 2 in the bottom of the ninth. That one currently in extra innings now. Twins take the lead in the 11th, 8-7. Well, 30 years ago, when the starting gun went off at the first Bobby Krim 10-mile road race, 750 runners took part. And it's safe to say Krim himself had no idea what the event would grow into 3 decades later. Today, another record field, but as Ryan Slocum explains, a handful of that field made their mark fast. To Bristol, Tennessee, where the race for the chase continues, only 3 weeks out from the chase for the Nextel Cup. The Sharpie 500, Jeff Gordon looking to solidify a spot in the chase, but the night would belong to Matt Kenseth, who holds off Kyle Busch and Dale Jr. Kenseth clinches a spot in the chase for the Nextel Cup. It's Kenseth's 4th win of the year, his 2nd consecutive win at a night race at Bristol. First guy to do that since Dale Earnhardt Sr. Switching to golf, I should say, for the 3rd round of the World Golf Championships Bridgestone Invitational. Tiger Woods leading after 2 rounds and looking like he'd take control of this one as well. On the 3rd, he chips in for birdie to go 10 under in a 1-stroke lead. But very uncharacteristically, Tiger will bogey 5, 6, 7, and here on 8, a wild tee shot. That looks like one of mine. Actually hits a spectator in the back. Tiger would make it 4 straight bogeys, first time since 1996 with 4 straight bogeys. He only had 3 last week at the PGA Championship. The day belonged to Stuart Sink, just named Monday as a captain's pick to the Ryder Cup team. He shoots 64 today and takes a 1-shot lead over Tiger, Davis Love, and Paul Casey into tomorrow's final round. To the WNBA, where the Detroit Shock had a chance to wrap up their first trip to the WNBA Finals since 2003 when they won it all. Game in Connecticut, where the top-seeded Sun trying to stay alive. Shock down most of the second half. They clawed back into it. It's Flint's Deanna Nolan with 2 of her game-high 27. Shock down by 3, but the Sun refusing to set today. Lindsay Whalen to Taj McWilliams Franklin. Connecticut wins it 77-68 to tie the series at 1.
Tigers in a free fall, it looks like.
It's getting scary.
All right. Thank you, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Larry. You know, the last time Akron Fairgrove played a varsity football game was September 9th of last year. After 3 blowout losses and losing many of their mostly underclassmen to injuries, the administration decided to cancel the remainder of the season. But the team is back now, older, stronger, and ready to win.
There is anxiousness and, just a bit of nervousness at Akron Fairgrove High School this week.
I didn't sleep very well last night.
But the overall mood is sky high.
Kids are very excited.
For the first time in nearly a year, their varsity football team will take the field tonight when they travel to Augrey Sims.
I'm real excited this year. I mean, the kids are bigger, faster, stronger. It's exciting to have a squad that can play against older kids.
Last year was demoralizing for a team comprised mostly of underclassmen. They lost the only 3 games they played by a combined score of 155-8. And the undersized Viking team was feeling the pain in more than one way.
It hurts physically and mentally, both. I don't like to lose 50-0. We had a lot of kids getting dinged up, and we were worried we were just going to run out of kids.
So now 25 young men will take the field once again, and the excitement of the new season goes way beyond the student body.
Every time I go to one of the local restaurants, I have probably just about everybody in there will ask me, "How's it look, Coach?" So there's definitely some excitement. They always ask me, "How's the team look?" And I always tell them we're looking real good this year. And I tell them that I'm excited. Yeah. And since I'm excited, they get excited.